Hey YouTube, so I've been wanting to do a vlog like this for a while, a little bit more personal, so that's a little bit more laid back. So I set up my background and everything, but I'm not as far aware. It's not going to be quite as professional as some of my other videos. Been doing a lot of movie and book reviews and just other authorly things, and I apologize ahead of time. The maintenance guys downstairs were making a lot of noise this morning trying to repair the downstairs apartment for my new neighbors. They've quieted down a little bit. You might hear a thing or two while I'm talking. Um, so I wanted to at the end of this video, I'm going to be revealing character art for Angela Nardi, who is the main character in my upcoming book called Night of the Half Angel, which is a urban fantasy book. It's about this FBI agent who was adopted, and she recently discovered that she is half angel, and that's where her mystical abilities, along with the tattoos on her arms and back, come from. One of her parents was an angel. She doesn't know which one of them was an angel, but she investigates the paranormal and fights demons and other supernatural baddies like that. And in this first book, there's a lot of self discovery and finding out that, not all angels are exactly friendly. So this will end up being, I'm guessing, about a 6 book series. I've got an overall arc I want to go across, and this character has appeared in 2 other books before, and she was a supporting character that everybody really seemed to love in the first Phantom Walk. So I brought her back for the sequel, and I felt like I could flesh out her character better in her own series, because if I was to just keep her around for Phantom Walk, I feel like her overall story arc would overshadow Kurt's, or they'd get in the way of each other. It's not like she won't be back in the series at some point, but uh, this is, in all intents and purposes, a spinoff. And hi, Kitty. Yeah, there'll be cat cameos too, as I won't be cutting those out. I wanted to talk about my my journey to being a writer. What exactly led me to want to do that, and that's why I said I've been wanting to do more personal vlogs, because authors are kind of secret agents, as Stephen King has called them before. But really, we can't be too secret agent, because we have a lot of our own marketing and other things to do, and we have to actually meet our readers in order to get them. And I I think that the more successful authors have vlogs and other things on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook that allow them to reach their audience. Jenna Moreci is a fantastic example of that, and so is Jay Wells. And I think the ones that are more active on social media and get out there more obviously have better success, because if nobody knows about you, nobody's going to buy your book. So I it's hard to remember exactly what was it that sparked when and where, but basically I heard about this writing contest. I forget the name of it, for a short story contest, and it was like horror. And I had recently decided to quit or take a break from acting and pursuing film directing, and I wanted to find something else. And I had a vacation. I had a week long vacation coming up, and I thought, okay, maybe this contest will end up being something really fun. So I took those 7 days, and I just wrote the hell out of this short story. It was called The Search for Christine Carpenter, and does actually appear in my first book. But it's the first short story I wrote uh, that in quite a while. I mean, since I graduated from high school back in 2011. And something about doing it and coming up with the character and the plot, it was just something that I fell in love with. And I was like, I could do this for a career potentially. And I didn't win the contest, which is fine. I feel like I came out of it with something more valuable than a T-shirt and a $25 gift card. I So I started working on other short stories and researching different publishing options, and I discovered I discovered that self-publishing was an option, and that was something that really appealed to me because I very much like to have control over my characters, and especially like the cover art and stuff like that. So I started researching what all would go into that sort of thing, and I was lucky to have a background in business management and marketing. That was something that I went to college for a couple years while I was still in high school, and I was fortunate to have that background, even though I didn't pursue it. And so it's like I was able to come up with a couple different marketing plans and be more comfortable with public speaking. Um, and I I basically started writing more short stories, and I I came with an idea for an urban fantasy series I wanted to do. I didn't know that urban fantasy was the genre I wanted to write in. I had thought I was just going to mostly stick to horror, but uh, I came up with the idea for this character, this older gentleman that was a psychic. That when he touched things, he could see images of the past. So to flesh out this character, I wrote several short stories. I guess I've probably got 10 sitting around on a flash drive, and a lot of them will hardly any of them will probably ever see the light of day because a lot of them are they're I don't want to say they're terrible, but they're not they're not on par with what the Phantom Lock series is, and I felt like some of them were either too goofy, too dark, and it was basically a way for me to flesh out the character was to write these short stories, and one of them I ended up keeping and putting in my first book, Revolving Doors, and I started working on the first book and my collection of short stories at the same time, and I decided I decided let's see I decided in late 2015 that I was just going to commit to the short stories for now to make sure this was something I actually wanted to do. So it's like Phantom Lock the Lost, which was probably about halfway done. So I worked on a couple more short stories, and I made sure that they were edited to the best of my ability as a uh, and that was the hard part, was sort of relearning grammar rules, because I mean, after being out of high school and college for so long, you lose some of those things if you don't practice them enough. And it's like I always did really well in English, but I was really able to sort of come back and get back on that same level I was when I graduated, and maybe even at this point getting even better than what I was. So February 21st came around, and that was of 2016, and that's when I released my first book, Revolving Doors. And I I absolutely loved the feeling that it gave me releasing my very first book. And it was like once I opened up the box and saw all these copies with my pen name on it, and seeing my character Kurt that was going to have his own series potentially uh, appear on the front cover, I was just like, this is it. This is what I have to do until the day I die. This is the thing that I've been thinking about or needing, and not knowing what it was when I was younger, that would give me uh, purpose, and that would make me happy. And I just knew from there. So it's like I started working really hard on Phantom Lock the Lost, and October 31st of that same year was when I released that, and that beauty is right here. I I hired a different cover and character artist for this book and all my following books thus far, mainly because I had some creative differences with the artist behind Revolving Doors, and if she's watching this right now, there's no hard feelings. As I don't want to go and say bad things about people. especially ones that I've worked with. I think she's really, I think the artist for Revolving Doors is extremely talented, but I think when we tried to work together on the cover was going to be completely different. I think when we tried to work together on the cover, we just couldn't find that groove, and some of the things that she'd sent me for the cover weren't close to what I was envisioning, and but all the character art I thought was great. But I eventually decided to move on, and we, me, and another artist created this cover. I came up with the concept, and I can't draw worth a damn. I can envision everything, and my style is primarily visual driven. That's what people have told me a lot, and yeah, that was something that came in handy when I was telling her exactly what I wanted, and it came even more in handy with my third book, the sequel to Phantom Lock: The Lost, Phantom Lock: Phantom Fall, which came out last year of October 31st. And here is that beauty. I'm extremely proud of this cover. I get compliments on it all the time, and really, I think Emily deserves all the credit in the world. Emily did a great job on this. It's like I get asked all the time when I do signs, it's like, can I get that one? And I'm like, well, you can read it as a standalone if you want, but it makes more sense if you read the first one. And good urban fantasy series are able to stand on their own, but it helps if you've read the others. So that's been my basic journey through writing. I think the most rewarding thing is all the people I've gotten to meet. And I mean, creating the content is fantastic, and it's mind-boggling that all of this came from me. And it's like, even working on this fourth book, Night of the Half Angel, is something that I'm really jazzed about, and it's amazing to me that I have all these other ideas and other books that I want to do, and it's not like, oh shit, what am I going to do after I finish Night of the Half Angel? I don't know what I want to do for the next installment. The problem I have is, do I write the sequel to the Night of the Half Angel first? Do I do Phantom Lock 3 next? Or do I work on another book idea I have? Because it's like I've got two other books that I would like to do that are separate from my urban fantasy series. And, you know, I don't plan on sticking strictly to horror and urban fantasy. I want to branch out at some point. But getting to do more signings and meeting more people in the past year and a half has been something that I think that has elevated not only me as a person, but I think it's helped my career that I'm hoping to build into something more. And so that's basically it. I really wanted people to know that know about my personal journey, and that's kind of it in a nutshell. I mean, there were a lot of other things as far as what, who, and things that inspired me, and all that good things. And I'll be posting more personal vlogs regularly, I hope. And I'm really excited to talk about Night of the Half Angel. And the character art was something that was very, very important to me. And it was nerve-wracking because this character has never been brought to life, per se. I mean, she's appeared as a supporting character in both of these books, but she's never been drawn by anybody. So it's like I didn't want to put a whole lot of pressure on Emily to make it, perfect, because I felt like that would self-sabotage in a way. But at the same time, you have to have a sense of urgency, because like, this is a character is sort of like your baby, your kid, just like these books are, because it's something that you created from your imagination. It's something that's really special. And she did a really great job, and I'm excited to reveal that at the end of this video, and of course available on my website and my Twitter and everything. But a couple questions about a couple things to clarify about the character is that she kind of wants to carry herself as a normal person you pass on the street, and that was the way I wanted her drawn. a lot of these urban fantasy characters are drawn very sexy, and it's like they're wearing either leather or hardly anything at all. And I'm like, that's really not who Angela is. I don't want to insult anybody who has characters that are like that. And it's I kind of get why some series do have their characters like that, because I mean, sex appeal can sell a book very well, and some people like that sort of thing. And I uh, I was just like, that's not who Angela is. I feel like it'd be betraying the character if she was dressed all in leather. I was like, no, she needs to be a little bit more normal. And the reason she wears those arm warmers to cover her tattoos is because she's insecure about her lineage and her past and where these abilities come from, because she doesn't know if it's a good or a bad thing. Because some of the angels that she's met up to this point are dicks, or they're very conflicted people. They're not um, perfect as most believe that they are. And I want to clarify something right away. I don't pretend to know what an angel is like. I just wrote this series and these characters just to tell a good story. It's not that I believe that angels are flawed entities. I just thought it would make a more interesting story if they were. It's all fictional. It has nothing to do with my beliefs or anything like that. So I'm not trying to trigger anybody, or I don't have a secret agenda. All I want to do is write great stories. So check out the character art at the end of this video. It's really cool. I think Emily really nailed the character and what she looks like, and I especially love the sword, and it's like the eyes are very important. Let me know below what's your career journey been, whether you're an author or not. Let me know what your career journey has been. I'd really like to read it, and I hope you will check out my Phantom Lock series or my upcoming Night at the Half Angel series. Bye.